Welcome back to Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania. We're in the SMB1 challenge mode, trying to do expert difficulty. 50 big ones followed by 10 extra big ones to make 60 big ones of varying sizes. The relevant mission to complete this mode in under 99 fallouts. Also, I haven't mentioned this yet, but make sure you clear your bonus stages. If you do not clear your bonus stages, a fallout or a time over, depending on what you did, does count against you. And that is one counter towards missing the relevant mission in doing the mode in under a certain amount of fallouts. So be very careful about that. The bonus stages had no penalties in the original game. All you really lost was whatever bananas you didn't get. But here, you do have a penalty, so the incentive to clear the bonus stages is there.
Ready? Go!
Oh, and don't worry about stage 40. You don't need to get all the bananas to clear. You just need the goal. The goal is fine. But in the spirit of the original game, we're going to do something a little bit harder this time. What we're going to do here is we are going to start with 3 lives, just like we would in the original game, and we're going to claim 2 more along the way, thanks to bonus stage bananas, which are pretty much the only guaranteed bananas that I'm sure about when it comes to the comparison of bananas in the original game versus bananas in this game. With one additional caveat. Since stage 20 has 40 bananas, I'm going to still give myself an extra life at stage 30. With the reasonable caveat that I've gotten 10 bananas somewhere between stage 1 and stage 30. Which I think is pretty much a guarantee. I'm pretty sure that's guaranteed. So that's the only additional caveat I'll make. I'm ultimately giving myself just two extra lives here, so what this means is I'm trying to do this mode in 4 fallouts or less. That's what this means. To put things nice and simple. So, as long as I hold myself to 4 fallouts or less in the entire mode, and right now 2 or less, and then of course, you know, with the extra lives along the way, an extra one and then an extra one. As long as it's appropriate. As long as I'm holding myself to the minimal fallout standard that would be appropriate in such a way that I'm not continuing under the standards of the original game, then we're good. I know that sounded extremely complicated, and I'm sorry. Basically, 4 or less fallouts by the end of this. For now, it's 2 or less. After stage 10, it's 3 or less. After stage 30, it's 4 or less. That's the simplified version of it. Back to the game. You might have noticed the Exam C's extended time limit. It's a welcome change.
Ready?
It once again takes away from the experience us old boys used to have of finishing that level in under 60 seconds, which usually resulted in a lot of scary time pressures and, you know, the game just shouting, hurry up at you. And then you panicked and then they fell off, because that's how that worked. It's a weird change because the original game never had a 90-second time limit, but it's still a welcome one regardless. Also, you might have noticed on tracks the little yellow edges. That's a little bit for assistance in figuring out exactly where you are on the balancing act, so that you don't fall off one way or another. The original game didn't really have that for you. It wasn't something that was there. You just kind of had to make sure that you weren't about to fall off. Also, 11-11. And I'm about to go to stage 11.
Ready? Go!
That's gotta be lucky, right? Maybe? Perhaps? Well, we'll see. If we pass stage 14 still intact, maybe we'll talk about whether this run's gonna succeed or not. Because you might have noticed the banana coins by now. If you haven't, I'm just pointing them out for you. They've gone up significantly since the last run, and there's a very good reason for that. I have been training, and really that's more like I've just had a bunch of retakes. But yes, I've had a lot of fails so far, trying to do this mode in this way, just for the sake of saying that I can still do it in the original game's fashion. Kind of silly a little bit in a way, but it's just something to prove to myself that I can still do it if I really wanted to. Now, I honestly don't remember how many attempts I had in the original game's version before I recorded the one I put up way back when. I don't know how many attempts that took. It was so long ago that I really don't even like. The funny thing is, I don't even remember having as many lives as I did in expert mode at any given point. I was kind of surprised to see that when I was taking a peek at my old video just to see how many lives I had. The reason I did that is because I just wanted to make sure. For some reason, I wasn't remembering that stage 10 had 50 bananas in it, and then I also just felt like making sure that that was what I wanted to do, just do the bonus stage bananas, because I really didn't have another way to give myself like an extra fallout or so, because then I really would have to start considering what bananas I would have gotten in the original game, what bananas I wouldn't have, because they added that for Banana Mania. That would have just been mad work. I really wouldn't have considered bothering with that. So yeah, that's ultimately what I'm gonna do. Just the 4 or less fallouts, keep things nice and simple. Although realistically, I probably could have gotten myself an extra monkey, which could have mattered in some runs I've had, but yeah. Alright, we got past 14 unscathed, which is always a good feeling. I don't usually get past 14 unscathed, so I'd like to get past 16 unscathed. Which, yes, surprisingly 16 is kind of a problem sometimes. You really do have to make sure your angle is correct, because you don't get a lot of time to recover, to readjust. Here too, I've been having trouble lately because my rhythm has just been terrible. Like, I know what I'm doing, but sometimes when your rhythm just sucks, you think you got it, and then you just don't got it because you didn't do it exactly right, just like that. I almost died because of that. Alright, there we go. Good thing I was able to save it. This would have been at least the 3rd run today. I would have fallen in this level at least once. It's honestly depressing when, you know, you're falling on levels you really shouldn't be falling out on. Like this one, for example. I've fallen out a couple times here. And the reasoning for that is I wasn't quite in a position where I could stop and hang on. So make sure you hang on. It is very important that you hang on a little bit even more than you would in the original game, because this game does not cut you a lot of slack when it comes to slopes. You will slide off, and slide off pretty fast. So you do want to make sure you slow down and you're on the right side of the slope when you when it tilts pretty heavily.
Ready?
Alright. Got through 20 so far. We have 3 fallouts to spare right now, so that's good. After this is where the music starts getting pretty good. It's also where you start to try to gain momentum when it comes to expert mode. Getting out of the first 20 is usually a relief. Hell, getting out of the first 10 was a relief for us old boys, that's for sure. Getting out of the first 10 was usually something exciting, because it meant we got past Exam C and tracks.
Ready?
So, at least seeing the second 10 levels was kind of an achievement in of itself sometimes. Alright, Sega logo, it's just as annoying as it was in the original game. You gotta make some really awkward jumps. You could try to go for the insides if you want, but this technically is a little better to deal with than it is in the original game, but still, it's a little annoying. you can still very easily fail this. Of course, you know, the Sega logo still exists because Sega still exists. But when it comes to anything referencing Amusement Vision, that is gone. Or Dole, for that matter, because the bananas used to have the Dole logo on them. But that was even taken away when it came to Deluxe. It was beginning Deluxe that stopped being a thing. The reason I say I probably have gotten 10 bananas is mostly because of this level. A lot of these bananas are from the original game. So I can say pretty easily I've gotten 10 bananas to shore up the 200 bananas I need to have 2 extra lives without too much issue. Otherwise, I would have had to say, okay, I need to get 10 bananas on stage 40 or something, you know, but if I didn't get it by 30, I surely would have gotten by 40. I would have gotten 10 bananas by 40. Anyway, so, yeah. Just make sure you keep your pacing on here. It's just like the original game. If you jump too far ahead, you won't be able to climb up. But it is a bit easier to recover in this game than it is in the original game. The original game was pretty hard to recover from making a mistake, and of course you had only 30 seconds to deal with, so yeah. This one, just make sure you fall and do not move too much for your second bounce or so, because it's very easy for you to fall out otherwise. You might not think you're moving too much, but you are, and then you fall out. So just make sure you fall as straight down as you can on that one. Alright, if you hated this on Exam C, you probably hated it here too. I don't exactly consider this the most fun thing in the world. Crossing these diamonds on the edges. And hopefully measuring yourself up in such a way that you didn't slide off one of the 2 sides as well. That was always a fun experience. Alright. This one's also kind of a doozy. You can go for the risky strat, but if you're trying something similar to what I'm doing right now, I don't recommend it. I didn't go fast enough. That's my first fallout. What I really was about to say is you need to make sure your entry is good enough to not fall out immediately, because you very much can fall out immediately. I did not take care of that, and so I lost 1 fallout, which is unfortunate. Very unfortunate. So my perfect streak has ended for now. You also want to make sure you don't overshoot things too much at the end, because you definitely can overshoot, but you also don't want to you want to make sure you don't undershoot either. Alright, conveyor parts. The parts of the conveyor that repair and separate themselves every so often to make a stage that is twice as long as the original conveyor stage in Advanced. Alright, we survived. We got to 30, which means after this stage I should be able to get, well, I mean during this level, really. I should be able to have my additional extra chance, which means I'm going to be at the max. 1 fallout so far is not too bad. I really hope we keep that pace going into the extras. I hope I don't have another careless fallout, because that one really was careless. That was not really a good one on my part. In the original game, it may have been a bit difficult for you to keep up on this level to try to get all the bananas. Mostly because your ability to turn around was a little bit less good. Because you only had one camera set up, and that was the camera following the monkey. So this stage was slightly harder in the original to get all the bananas in, so there may have been runs where you like failed to get the last couple. It's pretty certainly not uncommon that could have happened. But yeah, we're at the max. So 3 spare fallouts left from this point forward, passing the halfway mark. This particular remix is up there for one of the best ones. I think this one and Roll 2 and SMB2 are probably my top 2. This one is really solid. I really enjoy hearing this one. It makes the 30s a lot more bearable than they usually are. I gotta admit. It's probably gonna feel way different when I'm hearing the original song for the 30s in marathon mode. It's gonna feel way different, but it shouldn't be too bad. Hearing the original music again is gonna be nostalgic in its own right.
9, 8, 7,
I mean, I already did so in my first playthrough of this game, so
3, 2,
yeah, I'm not too worried about finishing. I just wanted to make sure I didn't fall off. That's why I spent as much time as I did. I probably would have finished in like 10 seconds left otherwise. I just really wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to be careless about things. Again, just make sure you're not too far one way or another on the drums. Very important that you stay on top of things. Same with this level, make sure you stay on top of things. You don't get a lot of leeway, so just make sure you hang on slowly. Don't do anything rash. Look forward if you have to, just make sure how far along you are. And hopefully you'll be able to get through this just fine. It's honestly kind of a scary one for this juncture. But it's not terrible either. This one's also scary. Oh boy, that hangback was almost deadly for me. I'm gonna say that. Jeez. Alright, I've had trouble on this level recently. Let's try and pass it this time. There we go, perfect. Your bouncing ability is a little higher in this game, so it's a little bit easier to 2-bounce in the goal there. But in the worst case, you just land on the last one and you just wait for the Quake to boost you up again and hit the goal. That was, I think, typically my normal game strat, my original game strat, I should say. Just waiting for the second Quake to just take me up to the goal.
10, perfect.
This stage only has 3 bananas, probably the lowest banana stage in the game. I haven't checked, but it probably is.
Ready?
A lot of stages try to have at least 10 bananas, so yeah. I imagine this was pretty low end. I'm playing that slower than I usually would. I would try to skip 2, but I've gotten comfortable just doing it one by one.
Ready?
Alright. A stage where you don't have to get all the bananas if you don't want to. It's difficult. Even in the original game, it was difficult to do this challenge. To try to get all 50 bananas. Typically, you probably got somewhere between 20 and 30 if you were good enough. Which isn't bad in and of itself. There's nothing wrong with getting 20, 25, 30. Only a couple people have ever gotten all 50, and you need to do it in a very specific way.
Ready? Go!
But, yeah, getting all 50 bananas is definitely not required by any stretch of the word. You could just hit the goal. That's why the goal is there. It's the only goal that appears in a Super Monkey Ball bonus stage, instead of Super Monkey Ball 2, where every stage had a goal. Every bonus stage, rather. Imagine if a bonus stage had a green goal for some reason. That would have been funny. That would have been funny back in the day. Just go to a bonus stage and just skip one of the normal levels that way. That would have been funny. Alright, we almost screwed up there. I got real risky at the end. Alright. Still have one fallout so far. So we're still in good shape. 13, 37. There. You might have 60 seconds to play this level, but you do want to be careful about the time regardless. If you want to make sure that you'll get there in the time limit, you're going to have to make one decently risky move on the first set there. You also have to make this near blind fall in order to land on the other side so that you get to the goal here. Which is a little easier than it would be in the original game. You pretty much did have to make that blind.
Ready?
You had to be real comfortable with the position of the platforms there. Alright, this one, try to stay on the green bit. The fire reflections are practically see-through, which is really, in a way, a little bit distracting on this particular level. I guess you could say it's like a bonus feature. But yeah. Still very important to stay on top of things, because you could easily fall off otherwise. Alright, this one was simply finding your spot and just motoring past here on both of these. If you do bounce there, be careful you don't bounce out. Alright. Alright, I've had trouble on this stage a couple times when I've gotten here before, so let's see if we can get through it on the first try this time. Get through Sonic's rings. You definitely want to hang left here to get this goal. Thank goodness we did this on the first try. I'm actually happy about that. But you do want to hang hard left there to make sure you hit the blue goal if that's what you're going for. If you're going for the green goal, obviously you want to go further. And try to have a decent amount of speed coming into that last ring. Alright. Clover time. Just make sure you keep consistent. Consistency is the name of this game. Obviously, the stage didn't have nearly as many bananas in the original game. That would have been too easy. But it is still fairly easy to get the perfect because it's almost impossible to miss the bananas. I'm not gonna say impossible. I'm gonna say almost impossible because you never really know. Metamorphosis works a little differently. You get a favorable cycle here if you just start going forward immediately. So you don't have to wait for this thing to come back. In the original game, you didn't exactly get a favorable cycle. You had to wait first before you got on.
Ready?
Okay, so we earned the right to play the extras. We had one fallout overall. So here we are. 10 more levels. Some of them look familiar, most of them are new. Well, in Super Monkey Ball 1's terms, anyway. This one is a matter of just making sure that you know where you are and you know where you're going. As long as you stay consistent, you're fine. Just do mind the time limit.
Hurry up! 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, go!
If you had 60 seconds on this level would be a lot less tense. I'm gonna say that. I probably would have said it in the original game too. Alright, hard hitter. This is where I could lose it all because you do have to be fairly precise with your timing. You don't exactly only have one shot. It's just that your timing has to be good. Because if it's not, you will get thrown off. So you effectively really do only have one shot. It's just that you can take a couple of look-sees if need be. That one's kind of a gimme because of the position of the goal. It is a simple jump up to the platform there.
Ready?
Alright, Factory is interesting. There's an arrow showing you exactly where the goals fall off now. But also, it's a bit easier to do this now. So you don't have to worry too much about beating the goals before they start falling down. Alright, this one's a dangerous level. I hope I get this on the first try. I'm terrified. This one's just a hard level. And I didn't. Fuck. I hit it too much. Ah! That's 2 fallouts. Alright. It's not over yet. I don't like this level. I didn't like this level in the original. No way. No fucking way. Now, the thing about this level is if you get caught here, there is no way to recover. You just don't get any credit whatsoever. Alright, that's 3 fallouts. Alright, come on. Yes, okay. Oh. Okay, still have 1 spare fallout left. Which is good because I probably need it for Sanctuary. Sanctuary is the other very scary level left. Although this one and Banana Plate are just as scary. This one, you do not have a lot of time. And it's very important you cross a bit of this magic hand until you get about here. Uh-oh. I don't like where I am. Oh, shit.
10, 9, 8,
I gotta do this the hard way. Oh, God. Okay, whoa.
4, 3, go!
Okay, that was... you almost got me there. You almost got me there. Getting real scared right now. And this is not the AV logo, so yeah, this is very difficult because of that part. Alright, we got through that. Alright, Sanctuary. The SMB1 version of planets. It's basically what this is. The original version of planets. From Master XTRA. Try to stay consistent on your bounces here. And you should get it. Should also get the perfect here. It's pretty not hard, I guess. But you could miss a banana. Alright, final stage. Let's not throw. Just as long as we don't throw. Keep in mind, there were originally no bananas here. So, they actually had to put bananas for this level. Which is funny. Alright, we did it. We did the thing. Fell out 3 times. That's fine. But I finally got out of this alive. You don't understand how good a feeling that is after the amount of retakes I've had. So, we would have qualified for Master proper. In terms of the original game. We would have qualified for Master proper. So there we go. Alright, next time, on the next part, we will do Master. And Master's requirement. 50 fallouts. That's 5 fallouts per level, which might actually be a little bit difficult. But we will also talk about how a lot of the Master stages got some decent nerfs. Of course, we'll get to that later. So, for now, come back for the next part. I'll see you then.